Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting of Mayor and Council to order at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on June 9th, 2026. If you'd all rise for the invocation by Councilwoman and Dr. Stephanie Grassett.
Heavenly Father, we ask for your wisdom and guidance as we meet tonight. May we have clarity of thought, unite to serve a common purpose, and demonstrate our love for the city we have all chosen to serve in all of the discussions and decisions this evening. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you remain standing for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Just as a reminder to City Council, we do have executive session following our regular council meeting. Do we have any changes to the agenda for tonight's meeting?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask for an approval of the minutes for the regular meeting held on May 26th. Those minutes have been provided in your packet. If there are no comments or objections, I'll accept the motion.
Councilwoman Grassett, I make that motion.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Grassett. Is there a second?
Councilman Bradley, I second the
We
motion.
have a second from Councilman Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Those pass unanimously. At this time, I'd like to ask for approval of the minutes for the budget workshop number 2 that was held on May 19th, 2026. Again, those minutes were provided to council in their packet. If there are no questions, comments, or concerns, I will accept the motion.
Councilman Quillen, I'll make the motion.
Motion from Councilman Quillen. Is there a second?
Councilwoman Grassett, I second.
We have a second from Councilwoman Grassett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Those pass unanimously as well. At this time, I'd like to ask Chief Marshal Kraft to come forward to introduce our latest officers.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, and city manager.
Good evening.
I'm very happy to be here tonight. I know a group of us went to the Dover Police Academy graduation on Friday to see 3 of our recruit officers furthest to my left. And one officer here is a lateral that I'll tell you about in just a second. So I'd like to introduce Dominic Winder. Dominic, if you could come up for just a second. Just stand right here for just a second. I want to tell you that Dominic is a retired police officer from Baltimore City, 26 years, I believe. He's also trained in field training. He was a detective, an instructor. He's got all kinds of accommodations. We're very fortunate to have him. He just moved here from Baltimore. His wife Mandy pinned him today. And so congratulations and welcome aboard. And also, I'm really happy to say that he's a United States Navy veteran. There's only 2 of us in the building, so thank you for that. And I'll have you stand right over there just for a second. And next on the list will be Isaiah Osorio. Isaiah, I'm going to counter. I'll start off by saying he is a United States Marine. I must say a Department of the Navy. So welcome aboard, young man. Very, very good, hard-working young guy. He's actually comes from Newark, Delaware, and one of the unique things about him, he was an explosives breacher. So I don't think he's going to have any problem here in Seaford. Welcome aboard. And next, I'd like to introduce Jimmy Franqui. Jimmy's from New Jersey. We're well-rounded. We cast the net really far to catch Jimmy. Jimmy actually was a seasonal officer with the Dewey Beach Police Department. He came highly recommended, and I believe he actually got an award there at the Academy graduation, Resiliency Award, I believe. So congratulations. He's really big into drone operations. You nearly have your pilot license as well, right? So welcome aboard, and thank you. Congratulations on your graduation. And finally, Kyle Agresta. Kyle, he grew up in Georgetown, so he's kind of a local guy. He's got his bachelor's degree in crop science, which is kind of unique because Seaford is in Sussex County, so he's a Sussex County guy. He lives in Sharptown with his significant other and 2 young children. And I'd like to welcome him aboard, so congratulations to you. Right. And I'd like to introduce you to Mayor and Council. You met some of them today. Dr. Stephanie Grassett. Yes. And congratulations. much.
Thank you, Chief. We appreciate those gentlemen. Thank you for choosing Seaford, and thank you for choosing service over self. So we appreciate you. All right, at this time, it's my honor to make a presentation and a proclamation to Mr. Vince Evans III. It's not every day that the city of Seaford and Seaford High School, Seaford Blue Jays, have the Delaware High School Male Athlete of the Year. That's a high accomplishment and very well deserved. There's plenty of accolades and accomplishments for this young man. One thing that comes to top of mind is leading the Blue Jays to the state championship, which brought a lot of joy and a lot of fandom to the city. We're just very excited and thrilled to have you and see what you're going to do in the future. And I had this proclamation. I'd like to read it into the record before we present it to you. From the office of the mayor for Vincent Evans III, due to your dedication to excellence across multiple sports, has earned him a statewide recognition and distinguished honor of being Delaware Male Athlete of the Year by the Delaware Sports Writers of Broadcasters Association. The city of Seaford takes great pride in recognizing the outstanding achievements of its young citizens who exemplify excellence, leadership, dedication, and sportsmanship. With Vincent's outstanding leadership and athletic ability, he led the Blue Jays to the state championship, earning recognition as the Class 1A Offensive Player of the Year for his exceptional performance on the football field. Vincent's accomplishments serve as an inspiration to young athletes throughout our community and reflects great credit upon his family, coaches, teammates, Seaford High School, and the city of Seaford. And with that, I, Matthew McCoy, Mayor of the City of Seaford, by virtue of the authority vested in me and joined by the City Council and all of our citizens, do hereby congratulate this distinguished young man for the time, talent, and commitment he has shared with the Seaford community, and do hereby proclaim our sincere congratulations and appreciation for being named the 2026 Male Athlete of the Year. Congratulations, Mr. Evans. Always a pleasure to recognize our student athletes. All right, we're going to continue. At this time, I'd like to ask if anybody here is here for public comment.
There is no one here for public comment.
All right, do we have anybody here for correspondence?
We have no correspondence, sir.
Okay, so at this time, we're going to move over to new business number 1, and this is going to be the presentation for the approval of the FY27 budget.
So good evening, Mayor and council members.
Good evening.
The presentation we're going to review tonight is similar. It's been pared down from the budget presentation that was presented in budget meeting number 1 and budget meeting number 2. I'd like to start out by thanking not only the mayor and council for the time they spent with us in the budget hearings and budget markup, but also the directors, the chief, the superintendents, supervisors, and I would be remiss, Ms. Merritt, our Director of Finance, is here, who really did yeoman's work putting this together. And just to talk a little bit about the developmental process, the directors submitted operating and capital draft budget requests with projected overtime, holiday overtime, standby hours. They started this process on March 2nd, 2026. So this budget has been in development for several months. During the month of April, several internal meetings were held to reduce the projected deficit, and we worked together to prioritize revised budget requests, and that reduced the budget deficit to just over $1.6 million. So a lot of work had to go in to get it to there, and then we were still needing a lot of work. We did hold budget meeting number 1 on May 5th with the mayor and council members. You're going to have to, would you go to the next slide? Thank you. All right. On May 13th, the directors and supervisors were asked again to perform a second review of their budgets and look for anything that could be deferred or eliminated. This review resulted in an additional reduction of $214,645 in the FY27 budget. So we were, at that point, we were down to just over $1.4 million deficit. Budget meeting 2 was held with mayor and council on May 19th. All staff was here. Final revenue, reserves, expenditure adjustments were determined to balance the budget, and they are presented here in the next following few slides. All right, so this budget includes the addition of equipment and vehicles in the police department, maintaining staffing levels to increase citywide public safety. The chief was here tonight with 4 new officers, so our goal now that we're to full staff is to maintain those and continue that push. There are investments in this budget in reliable domestic water production with the relocation of the nylon well, and then the sewer relocation projects in the Martin Farms development, which have been a project in the making for the last several years. Phase 1 of the wastewater treatment plant headworks upgrade started in April of 2026 this year. So that is included in this budget as well. The city, good news, the city continues to see customer growth that contributes to revenues in our enterprise funds. This is due in part to consistent increases in residential housing and commercial developments that is happening throughout the city. So these numbers in these next several slides are pulled directly from the budget revenue analysis that was prepared by the Director of Finance. So I'll just step through those real quick. This is the total revenue of this proposed FY27 budget with internal transfers. So our budget this year is just over $73 million. If you go to the next slide. This is just a graph that's been put together for total revenue without internal transfers. So a couple takeaways. You know, typically the electric fund at this year it's $21.9 million. It's always historically been our biggest, but because of the projects down at the wastewater treatment plant and some of the other, the sewer budget is actually bigger this year. So that's $26 million. So that's a little change over the last couple years. Water fund is also up higher than it traditionally is because of capital projects there. So would you mind going to the next slide, please? Thank you. General fund revenue is down slightly from last year at $9.807 million. We try to give these historical looks, these trends, so if there is a trend, we can look at that. This is kind of right where it's been for the last several years, been up slightly and down slightly based on what's included in the specific budget. So if you go to the next one, thank you. General fund transfer from the electric fund. So as council is aware, we rely heavily on revenue from electric to operate our general fund. So that is at $3.3 million this year, up from last year, which is some good news. Council is aware and pushed hard not to do an electric rate increase this year. So that's good news that the revenue is holding up, and that's really based on a lot of customer growth at this point. If you go to the next slide, please. General fund transfer from the sewer fund, that has been increasing over the last half a decade or so. It is again at $1.9 million. Bless you, right in the area that it's been the last couple years. So go to the next slide. General fund transfer from the water fund is up this year. Again, we're leaning on all our enterprise funds to try to help fund those general fund projects. That's $392,132 projected this year. Water fund revenue is up, and again, just a note, we do look at loans or grants as revenue in our budget, in our municipal budget. So that's at $9.083 million this year. And again, that includes some very large grants that we received for the nylon well and some loans for water projects throughout the city, specifically in Martin Farms. Sewer fund revenue, again, is up very high this year, but we've been planning, and we did put in last year's budget the Headworks project at the wastewater treatment plant. So that's in again this year, but it has started. So that's about an 18-month project for phase one. That total project is projected at $47 million. So this project, this phase, is only about $17 million. Electric fund revenue is right about where it has been, $21.9 million, up slightly, again, due to organic customer growth because there was no rate increases proposed in the budget this year. This is a busy slide, but again, these are total expenditures, and we tried to put all departments in. You know, our electric budget is very large, but our electric expenditures in buying the wholesale power is also very large at $18.2 million. So you see the departments there laid out. Real typical municipal budget. Police is one of our largest budget expenditures this year at $7.49 million. So we put this together new this year just to kind of give a 3-year snapshot, FY25 through 27 of each department. Again, we're looking for trends in growth. You know, what departments are growing, what departments are changing over time. Pretty much everything is static except the push that's been put on in the police department to add personnel. And along with that comes other expenses, vehicles, things of that nature. So electric distribution is right where it needs to be. Water's up slightly again because of the investments that are being made there in the water wells and things of that nature. Capital requests, this is a large budget with capital, $28.285 million this year. Again, that's been up the last few years because we've been planning these large projects. We've included them in the budget previously, but they haven't been able to get started. So that's why it's been up for so many years. Not all these projects have come to fruition. So we broke it down a little bit further, that $28.2 million. Funded with city funds is only $872,000. Funded with grant funding is $4 million of that. And then capital funding with loans is $23.5 million. So, you know, when you look at how many city dollars are being expended and how many grant dollars are being brought in, that's some good work by the Director of Public Works, his staff, the police chief as well is really going after grants. So those numbers bear that out. A little bit about budgeted property tax collection this year. The budget is $2.96 million. And I just want to talk about a little bit down at the bottom there. The $331,000 increase, or 12.6%, that includes a tax increase. And you'll see that in a couple later slides. So there is some growth in the tax rolls, but there is a 5.88% tax increase proposed in this budget. Realty transfer tax collection, we watch this. This goes up and down with housing starts, with the economy, with interest rates. You can see it's been trending down slightly over the last 3 years, but it is proposed at $725,000 this year. While it may be trending down in the larger macro economy, housing prices have remained high, and specifically in Seaford, they have a lot of housing that's changing hands, has new houses, they've held up as far as value. Reserve account status, so this is the money the city has on hand and available. We typically look at several of these numbers over time. We look for trends. General fund reserve balance this year is at $1.8 million. That number is growing. You can look back over the last 4 years. That's what you want to see, is increasing your reserves. General fund restricted reserve, that's down slightly to $4.2 million, but during our budget meetings we discussed the Western Sussex Business Campus has been completed now. All those ARPA funds had to be expended by the end of this year, or we had to return them to the federal government. So the Director of Economic Development, our engineers, and our Director of Public Work really pushed to get that done. We can report those funds are out the door, so we've met our commitment there. And we did get 2 tranches of, I'm sorry, it's escaping me now, from the state. We got bond bill monies for that project. So those aren't fully expended yet. There's no timeline on those right now, but we are working those down to finish that project out. I'm sorry, just back for just a second. Total reserves down there at the bottom is $18.3 million. That is more than last year. That's really good news, and we'll talk just a little bit more about that later on in the presentation. All right, so here's another look at the different reserve accounts aside from the general fund, restricted and non-restricted. You know, you got them laid out there: golf reserve, water reserve, sewer reserve, electric reserve. We really like to see those in the event we do have a large transformer go down, we do have a water main or sewer main break. We like to have some cash in the bank in the event we need to make some large repairs or things like that. This is a reserve transfer history. And typically, you can look back over, FY 21 through 23 and even FY 25. We did not spend all the reserves that we were planning to in the budget, and that can be for several reasons, right? We don't have as many people. We weren't able to get to full staff in the police department or other departments. Capital projects did not get realized. Other expenditures did not come forward. Additionally, in a large budget like this, we traditionally, and our Director of Finance kind of preaches to us, we budget conservatively, and then we try to go out and get the best price we can. So that gap provides us that. But this last year, that was not the case because the city's pretty much at full staff now. We did have a lot of cost increase over the last few years. So FY 26, we have already spent our allotted reserves. Debt service, we like to track that every budget year. So total outstanding debt right now is just over $4 million. And you see the trend there. It's really going down from 27, 28. A lot of large loans are being paid off, and that's what you like to see. That's good news. These big loans that we take out over 20 years, once they're paid off, that's a good position to be in. If you go to the next slide, total future debt. We talked a lot about these projects that we're doing. While we're getting some principal forgiveness from the state or other loans, we also are getting very favorable interest rates. Our wastewater treatment plant interest rate is 2%, and that's a 30-year loan. But they are large projects, so the anticipated total future debt, all in on the debt schedule, just under $20 million. So if you go to the next slide, we did go ahead and put a graph together for total outstanding and future debt, just over $24 million. Charges for service. So we talked a little bit about this. The tax rate currently this last budget year is 34 cents per $100 of assessed value. Proposed in this budget is 36 cents per $100, or a 5.88% increase. This would result in a projected $164,000 revenue increase in the tax line item. Water and sewer, also we determined What was necessary was a 2.5% increase for this year. So you see in FY26, the water rate went up slightly, 2.5% to 32.01 per EDU. Sewer went up 2.5% to $62.4 per EDU. So that's going to raise, it's anticipated to raise approximately $150,000 in additional revenue there. So we track this every year. The median household income in Seaford is $54,016. So when you add that and combine the water and sewer rate, you get just over $1,100 per year. And we look at the combined percentage of median household income, 2.1%. Typically, the rate that's considered affordable is 3% of median household income. So council's worked real hard to keep that rate generating revenue, but keeping it as low for the residents as possible. So these are just a couple things. These next few slides kind of sum up some things that were done. There is an increase in the budget in the street charge. Currently, it's $5.50 per month per customer. It's proposed to increase to $9.50 per month per customer. So that fee, $4 a month, would generate an additional per customer $210,908 in annual revenues. We talked a little bit about this during our several budget meetings. Our building official gave a presentation on it. The budget does propose an increase in rental license fee to $150, so it would go up by $50. That would increase revenues by $93,030. Also, building permit fees would be increased, $50 for the first 1,000 of construction and $5 for every 1,000 of construction costs thereafter. Plumbing fees similarly would go up, $30 base and $5 per fixture. This is projected to increase revenues, and we based it on the amount of construction we've had over the last few years, just under $50,000 or $48,000. I would like to say we have not raised building permit fees. I don't remember the last time we did it, so it's been well over 20 years. And I was remiss in not saying that the tax rate has not increased since 2014. So well over a decade since the tax rate has been adjusted. So this gets a little small. I apologize for that, but it sums up a lot of this and kind of gives you the reasoning behind some of the why. The 5.88% property tax increase, again, would increase revenues by $164,000. The rental license would increase revenues by $93,030. The street charge by $210,000 increase in revenue. Water and sewer increase of 2.5% respectively would increase revenues $150,000. And then building and plumbing permit fees, again, is projected to raise almost $50,000. So the total of the above assisted in a $667,000 decrease in the projected budget shortfall. And that budget shortfall that we couldn't cover with additional fees or customer growth has to be transferred from reserves. So we have to take it out of our bank account. So council spent a lot of time on this, was concerned about this, and the balancing option this year reduces that dependency on reserves to just under $1 million or $999,000. I just put this in there as just a kind of a talking point. FY26 was $1.15 million. So we're reducing that dependency on the revenues or monies that we have on hand in our accounts. So staffing considerations included in this budget. Due to growth of the organization and its IT infrastructure, I think every company's going through this. We needed some additional help in our IT department. We have a department of basically one. We've evaluated the job description that's been prepared, and we've slotted it there. It's only for 39 weeks in this budget. It would be a salary of around $46,000 a year. And one of the big things is this position is a proactive step to support stability, reduce risk, and ensure we can keep up with our organization's needs as they evolve. Should someone be out for an extended period of time or be ill, we need to make sure We don't have any issues with, security intrusions. We all rely on making our payments through computers. We all do that. So this job in the IT department was considered to be critical this year, the information technology support technician. So that is included. The next is funding an assistant city manager position in this budget. We have not had one since 2018. The idea here is to do that at in 2027, at the end of this budget year. There is hope, and there are qualified individuals, we believe, in the workforce. So, the idea is hopefully someone will come forward, and that would be an internal promotion. But we have to follow our process with this. But that is included in the FY27 budget as well. Only those two positions are included in this budget. As Chief Kraft said, he's at full staff now, so he's not requesting any more people in the police department. He would just like to retain the people that he has. So if you go, so to talk about budgeted pay a little bit, and we have several different kind of systems going on. General employees, there's about 56 in our employee census, and we do a performance and plan adjustment. So this year proposed is a 3% plan adjustment to keep up with inflation and keep our pay plan relevant. And then based on your evaluation, you would get those other pay adjustments based on your performance. So you can see, based on your ranking, what you would get. The total of the two would be the raise that would be given to those general employees. Okay, so this is kind of a busy slide, but total payroll for the city of Seaford is $9.065 million. That is a 10.5% increase in total payroll. General employees, so that 54 plus or minus people, the total raise all in with promotions and everything, $247,370. We have two unions at the city of Seaford. So we have the police union, which is represented by the Teamsters for the sworn officers. That contract expires at the end of this budget year, but we are still in negotiations with that bargaining unit, so we don't have that number yet. And then also, we do have a union in our electric department represented by the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers. We did get a new contract with them. Our team negotiated. So for that department, those employees, that increase is $132,499 that was negotiated. So that is the last slide that I have. Certainly, Ms. Merritt is here and I'm here. If we can answer any questions that City Council might have.
Are there any questions at this time from council? I believe there are none.
I just want to say thank you again for all your help.
Comment.
I was going to
We
say, can we
achieved
make a
our
comment?
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we achieved our goal for the money.
Okay.
And I was going to say, and the other comment is, I mean, this took a lot. I mean, we spent a lot of hours in this room trying to figure out how to make this work and trying to make it work, keeping our promise to not raise electric this year, which we had publicly made. It would have probably been easier if we'd been able to raise electric because, of course, everybody else is raising electric. If we went along with the crowd and we didn't. And I think it was a lot of tough decision making. So we don't raise anything lightly.
Any additional comments or questions? Okay. If there are none at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the fiscal year 27 budget as presented.
All right, we have a motion from Vice Mayor Henderson. Is there a second?
Councilman Bradley, I second the motion.
And a second from Councilman Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That passes unanimously. Now on to new business number 2.
All right. Council has in their packets a revised or redlined schedule of fees and rates. And this schedule of fees and rates mirrors the budget presentation. So you see the change there on page 1 of 8 for the property tax rate going to 36 cents per hundred. If you go to, the next one is water and sewer rates. That's on page 3 of 8. And those rates are what was presented in the budget presentation. 2.5% increase for both. And then we do have rate blocks for large users of the water system and the sewer system. So you'll see them there. These are users over 7,500 to 225,000 gallons a month. And then beyond that, there are rate blocks for them as well as sewer. So those have been adjusted. The street charge has been adjusted. Rental license has been adjusted. And also the building permit and plumbing permit fees, which are enumerated on page 5 of 8. If this is adopted tonight, it's scheduled to go into effect on July 1. So just to comment, the new rates for water and sewer would be effective July 1 for June's consumption. Yes, I said that correctly.
Are there any questions or comments regarding new business number 2? Okay, if there are none, at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion.
Councilman Quinn, I'll make the motion to approve the revised fee and rate schedule as presented.
We have a motion from Councilman Quillen. Is there a second?
Councilwoman Grassett, I make that motion, or second that motion, excuse me.
We have a second from Councilwoman Grassett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. Now on to new business number 3.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, so we're going to present the first reading for amendments to Chapter 15 of the Municipal Zoning Code. This is going to amend Section 15.13.6 that would revise the site coverage requirements and the building placement requirements.
Kylie's got to do it for you.
Hang on.
Hold on, buddy.
They're in the package.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
Okay, just go back. Okay. All right, so it's in your packet, I guess. So the couple of changes we're looking to make here, under site coverage of subsection 15.13.6, for the site coverage in the R3 zone. Currently what it is building coverage is 20% and paved area is 15% maximum. What this would do is combine those two to make sure that the sum of the building coverage and the paved coverage would not exceed 35%. So the building coverage and the paved coverage can be apportioned between one another, providing that the total does not exceed 35%. For the side setback, we're adding townhouse to the code. So townhouse and units would have a 10-foot minimum setback. And for building placement, residential condominium dwellings developed as detached principal buildings shall be permitted to be located a minimum of 16 feet from any other residential condominium detached building on the same lot or development site. Current code has no part of any multifamily dwelling building shall be nearer than 25 feet to any other multifamily dwelling building on such site. So we're changing that from 25 to 16.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments for council regarding new business number 3? All right, if there are none, Vice Mayor, please.
One question. So let's see, going up to building placement. Wait a minute. Oh, the side yard setback for townhouse end units? You just changed the word to townhouse and not you didn't change the distance.
Yeah, no, it's just adding a little bit of clarity there.
All right. Yeah, just, that's all the clarification I needed. Thank you.
I'll just make a statement.
Please.
I apologize. So because this is a change to the zoning ordinance, this is the first reading that Mr. Lynch is presenting. This will come back and has been advertised for a public hearing, which is required at the next council meeting, and that'll be the date of the second reading, should council decide to want to proceed at that point.
Thank you, City Manager. Before we move on, just to clarify, any questions or comments regarding new business number 3? Okay. As City Manager iterated, there's no motion required, so we'll move over to new business number 4.
All right, so new business number 4, Mr. Derek Fales with CM Properties Delaware LLC is here to request relief from the Ross Business Park covenants and the city zoning requirements to pave a temporary parking lot on tax map number 331-5-4.19 until January 31st of 2027. Okay, so there is the parcel in question. It's located directly across from the entrance of FedEx on the south side of Venture Drive. Mr. Fales actually owns the property adjacent to it as well, which we'll see in this slide here. Okay, so what you see there on the right-hand side is the proposed parcel where they want to put a stone parking lot as a temporary parking space for FedEx. And that will be proposed to be in place through the holiday season and then removed by January 31st of 2027. All right. So we're looking to do a temporary stone parking area for use by FedEx. The city zoning code and the Ross Business Park covenants require parking areas to be an all-weather paved surface. GMB is going to review and approve temporary stormwater impacts. Sussex Conservation would also have to approve of any temporary construction. If this passes, the city will issue a building permit for the temporary parking area, with that area to be removed by January 31st of 2027. And Mr. Fales is here tonight if you have any questions, as well as his representative from GMB.
I just have one question, more like a point of order. How come it's not going to Sussex Conservation first?
So they are working that in a parallel track.
Okay.
And, part of this, to do this engineering is going to cost money.
Sure.
So in talking with the property owner, Mr. Fales, if council does not want to entertain this, it's kind of moot to go to Conservation District and spend all that money.
Sure.
But due to the tight time frame, I believe, Mr. Fales can verify that based on our conversations.
Okay.
He has started that in process. His engineer is here now, and they do have an approach for this. And just, if you might, would you mind going back to the last? So one of the interesting things on this property, these entire acres drain to the Ross Business Park Regional Stormwater Management Facility. And it's kind of right across the street. And when we designed that, when GMB originally designed it many years ago, all of this can be no greater than 50% lot coverage.
Sure.
Or you have to do something else on site. You can augment it, but that's all we can accept in the pond. So fortunately, Mr. Fales owns both properties, one undeveloped. My understanding of this and its preliminary engineering analysis is that adding this with the existing lot coverage next door, both of those don't exceed that 50%. Sure. So that's the good news here, and I believe that's the approach that's going to be taken to Conservation District. Okay. And hopefully there's a path there for this temporary approval. Should the council not want to participate in this or not want to approve this, it's kind of done.
That was my next follow-up. So council theoretically could say yay tonight, but the conservation could say no. Where would that leave us?
It would be no.
Done.
Yeah, it would be no. And again, I haven't had any conversation, I've only talked with Mr. Fales. I think he's acting on faith.
Sure.
The Director of Economic Development and I did meet with the folks from FedEx. They are under a very, very tight time frame, and they are, they have a need here. That's why we're trying to push this forward
Sure.
and help that corporate partner here.
Yep.
It's not traditional, but we're trying.
Just want to clarify for council. Councilman Quinlan.
As far as the stone, what type of stone is that going to be? Is that millings or going to be the large stones
It's
going in there?
8 inches of RC6 stone, so it's going to be the large stone, larger,
Okay.
right?
So it should be pretty limited on any type of dust
Yes.
that's being created
Yes.
back in there. Because I just don't want to upset any of the other
Yes.
tenants in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Because of dust problems or anything like that. And also, I don't want to upset tenants in there because they're all the other ones
Mhm.
are required to have the
Yeah.
asphalt down there as well, too.
That's a good point, Councilman Quillen, and certainly we can monitor this, and if we start to receive complaints, Code Department can certainly work with the property owner as well as FedEx to spray the area or otherwise attenuate the dust migration off the property, but that's a great point, needs to be addressed.
Question?
Vice Mayor.
So for the ordinance, you have a property owner of 2 properties. So there's a property line in between those 2. My concern is that it's not actually one piece of property, it's 2 different properties. So, how do you treat that when you don't? What's the coverage, 50%?
50% lot coverage, yes, sir.
And do you get, since, I recall, because I had a property back there,
You do.
that I got relief because I had a stone area for storage.
Yep.
And it was pervious. It was not permanent. It was
Yes.
not asphalt. It was a pervious surface. Is that a way to sort of get away from having it on 2 properties if you maintain that as a pervious surface?
So I'm going to defer to our engineer in the room, but I believe what's happened and this is a detailed explanation, but I believe what's happened, there's been an update to the conservation regulations from the time you worked through that process to now. The CN values for stone have changed. So correct me if I'm wrong now, stone is exactly the same as paving now where it wasn't before.
Traffic and compaction makes it impervious.
Yeah, so that was in the last sweeping change of the conservation regulations. They did a lot of stuff, but that was one of, they kind of closed a loophole. Is that the way to say that
Yeah,
delicately?
yeah.
Okay.
So if it's considered a pervious surface, how are you going to treat the fact that there's a property line in between those 2 properties?
So Mr. Lynch and I talked about that today, kind of ran the what-if scenarios, right? So right now, the proposal in front of council is to only permit this temporarily, January 31st, 2027, so about 6 months. Should
That's a year and a half.
January 31st, 2027.
7 months, okay.
Yeah. So should they not, at that point, Mr. Fales owns the property, he's committing to that, he's put it in writing to us. We'll send him notice that he's in violation of the approval, it has to be removed. Should he not do it, the end game here is the city would do it and lien the property if we had to. Right. I have talked with Mr. Fales, I don't know how much he wants to share publicly, but he does have the option here. Again, this was kind of, I'll call this somewhat of an emergency for FedEx. He does have the option, should he choose, I think ultimately he bought the property to develop it. So if he wants to do that, he certainly can, in this ensuing period of time, he can come through the process, Planning and Zoning Council, and receive approval for his development. And then he'll either have to, something you and I talked about, he has the option of expunging that property line to combine the 2. He'll have to make it stand on its own. He'll have to go through the process. But that is an option for him, one of many options, but that's an option for him that this timeline would provide him.
So one last question. What is the lot coverage now? Is it 100%?
Of that parcel?
Yes.
The parcel in question right now, there's nothing on there. I
No,
mean,
I
if,
meant
what they're
As
proposing,
planned.
yeah,
So that right there,
is
again, I'm gonna lean on our-
71%
Yeah.
by the plan, yeah.
almost everything.
Yeah, almost.
All right, so I have a question. So it says temporary parking lot until January 31st. Does that mean it will be serving as parking until the 31st, and then they have time to remove the stone thereafter? Or do they have to remove the stone by the 31st?
Remove the stone by the 31st.
How long does that take?
Of these 6, take about half an hour.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
couple days, week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, depending on the weather and everything, less than a week.
I was just curious, because I say it's one of those things where, you know, if it's, if we're not particular, we're approving something we're not sure
Yeah.
of. Good.
Well, how soon do you want to start this project? Is this, we're talking a month away, 2 months away, and starting this project, or we?
We're talking about once it gets through.
Could you come up to the mic?
Yeah,
you come up to the
As soon as you get, as soon as you get approval,
Yeah, somebody.
do you have a, kind of like a time frame?
Would
We'd
you
like for
Would you mind
construction.
just stating your name?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yep.
DJ White, I'm an assistant PM at George Miles and Buer. So we would like to start construction July 1st, so long as we can get through SCD approvals in that timeframe. So, and be operational by August 1st, hopefully.
We're
That's the goal.
talking 7 months of usage. Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify.
And what's your professional opinion of how long this would take to remove if you had equipment and manpower on site?
I'm with him the half hour with the with the
Okay.
D60,
All right.
but no, a week, maybe 2 weeks for putting topsoil back on and seeding it, but seeding it in time for the spring growth.
10-4.
And while you're here, do you mind if I ask, have you had initial conversations with Conservation District? And if so, does it look like there is a path for approval here?
There have been conversations, and I believe we have a pre-app meeting tomorrow. Our project director, I believe, has a meeting with them tomorrow, so long as this passes.
Okay, thank you.
But the purpose for this usage is to get basically through the holiday season.
My understanding of the contract, yes.
Yeah.
Any additional questions or comments? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no additional questions or comments regarding new business number 4, I will accept a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the request of Mr. Derek Fales with CM Properties Delaware LLC for relief from the Ross Business Park covenants and city zoning requirements to pave a temporary parking lot on Sussex County tax map number 331-5.00-4 until January 31st of 2027 as presented.
Okay, we have a motion from Vice Mayor Dan Henderson. Is there a second?
Councilman Bradley, I second the motion.
We have a second from Councilman Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. Do we have anyone here for old business?
No, sir.
All right. I'm going to move over to your reminder of meetings.
Okay, just a couple this time. City offices and utility divisions will be closed on June 19th in observance of the Juneteenth holiday. Friday Night Live event will be on June 19th as well, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the grass lot behind City Hall. And then the next day, the Police Department Foundation is holding a concert by Trevor Young on June 20th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the same grass lot behind City Hall. That is all I have, sir.
That'll be a busy weekend in the city of
Yes, it
Seaford, I
will.
tell you what. All right, we're going to move on to liaison reports. We're going to begin with police and fire with Councilwoman Stephanie Grassett.
I apologize, I'm trying to find my version.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my version. Sorry, I had 2 separate versions. Chief, do you have that copy of that other version with you? I thought it was in here and it's not. Thank you very much.
Chief Kraft saves the day.
I apologize. I didn't bring my hard copy because I thought it was in here. All right, I do have a complete report from the Seaford Police Department. I do not have a complete report from the fire department due to a family emergency this week. But I will begin with the Seaford Police Department. This reporting period is from May 22nd, 2026 through June 7th. Overall, there have been 187 total criminal complaints handled with an 86% overall clearance rate. As far as serious crime, 19 serious incidents have been identified, which include things like violent crime, fraud, weapons, larceny, those type of crimes, with a 42% clearance rate on serious incidences. As far as drug enforcement, we've had 18 drug-related cases, 16 cleared by arrest, 2 were declined for prosecution. As far as traffic enforcement and safety, we've had 279 traffic contacts with the issuing of 194 citations and 16 warnings. There have been 32 motor vehicle crashes, 0 fatalities, with 3 injury crashes, 3 DUI arrests, as well as that one DUI arrest was crash related. As far as public safety and major incidents, we've had multiple significant arrests involving domestic violence, weapon offenses, impaired driving, and narcotics. Our department did collaborate with the Delaware State Police on a major investigation. They also were able to remove a repeat felony DUI offender from the roadway, which I think it was his 4th offense, if I remember correctly. There have been arrests involving firearms possessions by prohibited persons and the recovery of narcotics and firearms during warrant service. As far as emergency management and preparedness, they actually went today, I believe. City leadership and partner agencies met today for a tabletop exercise with county partners, and they are focusing on testing and strengthening the citywide emergency operation plan. They are continuing participation in initiatives including GOLD and GVI, which focus on violent crime reduction and repeat offender targeting, especially with weapons such as guns. Community engagement, they have continued community outreach and engagement activities. We do have some pictures, I think, to share with you. On one of the hottest days we've had so far, well, let me skip. Is that, you don't have the other ones up there? Oh my gosh. We did have a neat community event that we had some pictures to go in there for. The Corporal Ruark, on one of the hottest days we've had so far, had a community water balloon event out at Nutter Park, and I think did water balloons with the kids for like 3 hours on that hot day, and it was pretty awesome, and there's some great pictures from that. As far as personnel and staffing, we are now at full staffing. The Academy graduation was held on June 5th, and the 3 new officers that we had that we just swore in graduated from the Academy, and we did have the transfer. So we now have 4 new officers that you met earlier. And that is my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Grassett. Want to move over to Code and Parks and Recreation, as well as Administration, and Vice Mayor Dan Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Starting with the Code Department, with a little less than half of the year gone, there's been 131 permits issued. And I would like to say that one of them was mine, and I got my certificate of compliance today.
Hey.
So,
Hang on the refrigerator.
so I'm not a scofflaw. So, there have been 1,861 rental licenses issued. The 2026 rental inspections are ongoing. They're being scheduled and completed on a rolling basis. They're doing routine inspections for ongoing projects, doing violation inspections throughout the city, and performing plan reviews for new permits. a highlight of the code department is they've recently issued 55 tags for untagged or inoperable cars throughout the city. And getting these cleaned up will definitely improve the quality of life for the neighbors and throughout the city. Continuing with the tradition of helpful code facts, under Chapter 8, Morals and Conduct, Article 1, Noise. Citywide noise ordinance is in effect during the hours of 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., and this includes, but is not limited to, loud music, yelling and shouting, construction noise, and use of power equipment. So for those of you who like to get up at 5:30 and cut the grass,
But the
You're in
ones that do it at 9
violation.
o'clock at night.
I'd like to cut the grass, let alone at 5:30.
So, under large project status, Muirfield 1 Phase 4, 17 lots remain in Phase 4. George Miles and Buer has re-inspected Phase 3 prior to dedication. There are a few items on the punch list there. Ryan Homes has started construction for a new model home there. Bel Air, single-family area, Danfield Drive. George Miles and Buer is scheduled to do the pre-dedication inspection. At the Nylon Capital Center, permits are issued for the front building sales spaces. The fit-out for the mill has started. The Deltec final inspection is scheduled for this week. The Tidal Health Building construction is progressing, and the contractor is paving around the mill due to the fact that upon the final inspection, Deltec is expecting students there later this summer. So that's imminent that you'll have another going concern at the Nylon Capital Center. The mod wash is highly anticipated. I've gotten a lot of questions about when it's going to open. It looked like it might open this past weekend, but it will be opening soon. Looks ready. Governor's Grant Phase 4. D.R. Horton has several homes under construction there. The Audi building steel is going up. The roof, it looks like the roof decking is going on, so there's a lot of progress there. The Cookout building plans are being finalized for permit submission. And at the Seaford Inn out on Route 13, final plans have been submitted and are being reviewed for the interior fit-out. Moving on to Parks and Recreation. Parks completed a couple of work orders, and there's 15 total grass work orders so far this season. They repaired the footers on an element at the Nutter Park Playground. They're checking both playgrounds at Seroptimus Park and Nutter Park because of the lack of the use of Jay's Nest. There's going to be people moving out toward those playgrounds, and they wanted to make sure that they're in good shape. The administration and Parks Department held one additional interview for seasonal worker. And we, did Corey Higdon actually start?
He started
yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Well, we wish him the best of luck over the summer and get to cracking. Cutting that grass. Has he been trained on his mower yet? Yeah, okay. All right.
He's been introduced.
All right. And under recreation, they held the 7th week of men's slow pitch and final week of youth soccer for 5 under and 7 under. leagues, and they held the playoffs for the 9 under and the 13 unders. So you'll see a picture up on the wall of the 9 and under champions for the spring 26 and the 13 and under champions. So congratulations on their hard work over the season. Also under rec, they began working on preliminary details for fall registration for the youth flag and youth soccer. That registration opens next week on June 15th. Parks and Rec submitted an addendum to extend the ORPT funding for the East Riverwalk project until December 31st, 2026. Now, they had to extend that because it was due to end at the end of this month, right? June 30th? Yes, sir. So we got another 6 months to try and get that project going. They confirmed the low bidder quote for the new PTAC unit in the park shop, and I know the workers out there will be happy that that thing will be working before it gets too hot. They also sent out a special event permit application and 3 sports field rental forms for future events within the parks. I'll move on to well, Parks and Code work together for completing the 15 grass cutting work orders, so I guess Code submits the violation and Parks goes out with their equipment and cuts, so. Let's see, we got all that done, we got the pictures, and I'll move on to administration with your permission there, Mr. Mayor.
Please, by all means.
Oh, yes.
Excuse me, by all means.
I'm sorry?
By all means.
And by the way, I'm happy to be filling in during Councilman Holland's absence. Under meetings, the city manager, he met with Randall Larimore at the Oyster House Park regarding the garden project on the property, attended a wastewater treatment plant construction progress meeting, attended Danny Short's coffee meeting, attended a conference call with Solicitor Mehta regarding an appeal, and attended the DMAC Joint Council briefing meeting in Smyrna. He's been busy with many meetings, including the Memorial Day event, the park seasonal job interviews, the SCAT breakfast meeting, the Board of Adjustment meeting, and attended the recruit graduation, the police recruit graduation on Friday evening. Under economic development, the updated on-call laptop for sign-on by Orleana for on-call use, and they repaired a printer for the city clerk's use, and there was other routine technical assistance as needed, and we're really grateful for Tricia's work in Gary's absence, his extended absence, because I know you're spread really thin with all your duties. So we'll move on to economic development, though. She was also involved with a meeting with Mr. Larimore, and also met with the Chesapeake Conservancy regarding that possibility. She submitted some information to Representative Short's office for CTF funding at the Oyster House Park. Participated in additional Parks Department interviews, attended the Representative Short's breakfast, attended a number of meetings after hours, and she prepared this presentation that you see on the wall. She also worked on a brick grant information for Mr. Philip King. Under the Director of Finance, she reports everything is routine, but if you observe that wing, it's anything but routine. She updated work papers with balancing options for this year's budget, and I really do appreciate all of the Finance Department's work over this period. I know it's been a really tough thing. It doesn't get any easier any year. Every year it gets more and more challenging. So she attended the previous council meeting. She's attended the negotiation meetings with the Teamsters and the police department. She's also had along with the wastewater treatment plant upgrade and expansion project, there are some additional paperwork. Is this a prevailing wage project?
It is.
Okay, so along with prevailing wage projects come more diligent sort of paperwork. So her department had to review the certified payroll requirements. Anytime there's a bonded project or public money or a prevailing wage project, you have certified payroll, which the city has to verify that wages were actually paid to the contractors on the job. So that's just another level of scrutiny that has to be provided based on the financier of the project, which is the state.
Correct.
So it processed and mailed out utility delinquency notices, which during this period, I heard the city manager say this was a lower than average period. It's unusually low for what you normally get, which is really, really positive. Not only for the workload of the people, but that customers are paying their bills in a timely way. She's preparing for the fiscal year end, so that means there's only 2.5 weeks left till July 1. And she does say that all other business is routine. Financial management, payroll and benefits, purchasing, billing, customer service, etc. I'm sure it's anything but routine. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Going to move over to Electric and Councilman Mike Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There was a pole changed on 500 West Stein with Delmarva Power and Lambert cable system. Rerouted street lamps and cable along Stein Highway and installed 2 overhead gang-operated air brake switches, which I did not know what they were.
So go ahead.
So under June's guidance, I looked it up, and it is a heavy-duty high-voltage disconnect switch. So they made terminations inside pad-mounted switch along Atlanta Road at Seaford Innovation Center, trimmed trees in Westview and Nylon Boulevard, attended Demick. Greg Brook attended the Joint Council briefing on 6/2. We were all up at Demick for a dinner. Something that I might add that was a bit of a concern, there are 14 pieces of legislation coming before the state before the end of the month concerning electricity, which was a little alarming for her. Yes. And definitely will have an effect on us. They met with Wesco to discuss open order report for an inventory item. Met with contractor on site at Aldi to discuss work planning and transformer specific. Reviewed plans for K-Van construction on Park Avenue, which is what we discussed earlier. Edited an estimate and escrow for Cypress Haven townhouses. And in closing, I met with a good friend on Friday who's from out of town, and he congratulated me on the election. And in the course of discussion, I said that, all of us on council were more or less on the same page, and that we were taking a leap of faith that what we did would benefit people in the future. So he decided to share me a Greek proverb, which I'm going to share with you. A society grows great when old men and women, I added women, plant trees in whose shade they will never sit under. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. I'm going to move over to Public Works and our wastewater treatment facility, and Councilman Alan Quinlan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll start off with the Public Works. The old well piping that was in the Arbutus station has been removed. All the equipment that was used during cleanup week has been cleaned up. Installed a auto valve at the Hooper Landing pool. Repaired service leak on Dover Street. Jetted 13 sewer line segments ahead of the CCTV crew. Replaced water meter antennas. Also started the demolition of the Jay's Nest. Sprayed weeds throughout the town. Installed new water tap on Clarence Street. Picked up limbs for the Seaford Volunteer Fire Department on Atlanta Road. That's at their property out there on Atlanta Road, right next to the church. Also, the CVT project is still underway and are encountering a lot of roots and grease. And all other routine tasks were completed during the week. Moving over to wastewater treatment and facility and compost. The plant and dewatering are also both performing very well. Had an issue with the West Filter Bridge failed due to wheel coating coming off, which the wheel was replaced, and then also had a dysfunctional keypad panel, which was repaired and now it's working fine. Completed the SCU SSD report, ongoing FOG inspections, repaired roof drain on the control building. Also had continued troubleshooting on the blower number 4 that has an issue, still has not been repaired as of yet. Removed the failed hydraulic speed control from the WAS number 2 pump for replacement of a drive setup for the VFD. Installed condensation blower on the oxic drain number 4 main header. Bryant and Marty assisted with the plant ops during 14-inch clarifier bypass demo work late last week, and also attended a bearing construction progress meeting on 5/28, which that's the Headworks project. That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Quinlan. Before I ask for a motion to enter into executive session, I would be remiss if I didn't publicly wish our very own Michael Bradley a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Michael. Happy birthday, Councilman.
They're giving me a charter membership to AARP now.
Hey, man.
He's officially my age now.
You're a founding member.
50 looks great on you there, Councilman. Looks great on you. That's right, 50.
Thank you.
We're going to go with that.
It did about 21 years ago, it did.
All right. Well, with that, I ask for a motion to adjourn the regular council meeting.
I'll make that.
Have a motion from Vice Mayor Henderson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilman Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, we're going to enter into executive session.